Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Fatal, and today I wanted to do a little bit of Gears of War Judgment talk and pretty much give some of my thoughts, opinions, and input on some of the information that has been leaked online about the game, such as no execution or Warzone being in the game. You know, two of the game types that essentially made Gears of War Gears of War. I'm also going to talk a little bit about Down But Not Out being taken out of the game, as well as the introduction of new game modes such as Overrun, Free-for-all, and Domination. So, no execution or Warzone? Honestly, I feel like that's a huge mistake. Let's jump back to Gears of War 1 really quick. Alright, now what were the two most played game types? We all know the answer to this. It was execution and Warzone. Those two game types alone made Gears of War a very unique game. Now, of course, we also had respawn game types like Guardian and Annex, but that's really aside the point. I really have to disagree with Epic and People Can Fly on this call, because they aren't appealing to the hardcore gal vets and people like myself who've been playing Gears of War since day one by taking out the game types we've all come to know and love the Gears of War franchise because of. I'm 100% fine with the introduction of new game types. I mean, look how TDM turned out for Gears of War 3. It's easily the most popular game type right now, and it's fun to have a game mode going for kills but also not having to wait up to 5 minutes for the next round to start after we end up dying, when we can simply respawn and get right back into the game. Now, at the same time, I think the game needs to retain its originality by keeping the game types that it was originally created with. It only makes sense, right? Now, this also goes for the game mechanics as well. Down but not out, really quick, that's basically the process of getting down and having the ability to get up over a set period of time on your own in execution or by being revived by your teammates. And as for Warzone, you have to be revived by your teammates, because if you're not, you're going to end up bleeding out and you'll die. Now, instead, we're simply just going to end up taking a certain amount of damage in Gears of War Judgment, and after we take that certain amount of damage, we're going to pretty much flop over and die. So, the only game type I'm aware of Down But Not Out being in now is going to be in Overrun. As for the new game types, I'm actually looking forward to playing Overrun and Free-for-all just because it will be interesting to see a combo of both Horde and Beast mode for Overrun. And as for Free-for-all, I think I'm going to like that game type a lot personally because you won't be able to rely on anyone but yourself. And let's face it, we all play those games where we're trying to win and we have that one or sometimes even more teammates who have a high rank but clearly are not up to par with the rest of us in the match, and that can sometimes be the cause of us losing. Thus, we blame the loss on our team, and yeah, you know where that goes from there. Anyway, that's some of the stuff that I'm just personally looking forward to. As for Domination, I'm not really sure how I feel about this game type, personally. King of the Hill was one ring in the match where a team would fight over in order to gain a set amount of points by maintaining control of that ring for a set period of time, opposed to now where Gears of War Judgment has basically adopted Domination from Call of Duty with 3 rings to capture. I'd say King of the Hill is a close second to importance of keeping fans happy, especially since it became really popular in Gears of War 3 and was a game type nearly everyone enjoyed and still enjoys. So, like Execution and Warzone, I once again have to disagree on the call of bringing in Domination and not really retaining King of the Hill. Now, another thing I've noticed a lot of you guys having a really negative outlook on Gears of War Judgment, and a lot of the time I personally reply to comments and I say something like, oh, you can't judge the game until you actually play it, or something along those lines. But honestly, I'd have to say my opinion has changed a lot since then. I think it's fair to judge the game since Gears of War Judgment, or this new Gears of War game, has basically been stripped of the originality Gears of War has brought us, and it's being turned into something completely different in what essentially looks like an attempt to appeal to players with lower skill levels. Down But Not Out and Execution and Warzone make Gears of War a very competitive game, especially in Execution and Warzone. They bring competitive players to the franchise in general as well. Now, let's look at COD. I'm not hating on Call of Duty, I'm not hating on the franchise whatsoever, but any random person can pick up the game and almost instantaneously be good at it. And I enjoy playing Gears of War because I enjoy killing people knowing it actually took skill to kill them. Not because it was because of sheer luck or chilling behind some random corner and just spraying people down. Now, the only reason I can see Epic and People Can Fly taking a Call of Duty style approach to Gears of War Judgment is in order to attract people to play the game, but what they don't realize is it will turn out the same way that Gears of War 3 turned out. Loads of people are going to play it first, of course, then people who aren't as good at the game and find themselves losing are going to head back to other games they played before because they won't find Gears of War Judgment enjoyable anymore due to the more experienced players on it and them constantly losing. Because like I said, games like Call of Duty, they don't require a ton of skill like Gears of War does. Gears of War takes a lot of time to get good at. I honestly think it's just going to tone down to a small community like it is now yet again for Gears of War Judgment eventually over time. And at this point, with the game so close to coming out, we can't really expect any major changes happening to Gears of War Judgment. I do personally really hope though that Execution and Warzone can at least make a comeback through downloadable content, or at the very least they need to have those special events where we can play Execution and Warzone at the very least. But yeah guys, I just sort of wanted to voice my opinion, give some input and some thoughts on some of these recent changes that have been announced, and also let me know what you all think down below in the comments as well. I want to hear what you guys got to say about this too. I might end up doing a part 2 to this video, and be sure to mention what exactly you want me to discuss in the next video if you do want to see a part 2 happen, because that's what I'm going to base the next video off of if I decide to do part 2. I want to see what you guys are commenting so that way I can kind of go off that and continue this little, I guess you could call it a series that I have going on now. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.